We're confident in the target that we went after. We know what we hit.
This was the first military strike of the Biden administration, payback for a recent attack in Iraq that left several American contractors and a U.S. service member wounded, and at least one contractor working for the U.S. dead. The U.S. military launched 2 warplanes into eastern Syria near the Iraqi border on the orders of President Biden, who sources say chose the least lethal option, targeting a cluster of buildings used by Iranian-backed militias at a border control point, the same Iranian-linked militias believed to be responsible for the attack on a coalition base in Iraq early last week.
We're confident that that target was being used by the same Shia militia that conducted the strikes.
Those militia rocket strikes slamming into that coalition base in Erbil, Iraq last week, where U.S. soldiers and contractors were housed. You can see those burned out bunks, the fire destroying the structures. The same Iranian-backed militias have launched rocket attacks against the U.S. embassy in Baghdad and the so-called green zone surrounding it. An official telling ABC News that the retaliatory strikes by the U.S. could have resulted in a handful of casualties, the Pentagon spokesman saying that the strike was proportional and that President Biden will act to protect American and coalition personnel, but added, at the same time, we have acted in a deliberate manner that aims to de-escalate the overall situation.
The FDA is expected to grant Johnson & Johnson emergency use authorization for its vaccine as early as tonight.
Now that it's going to be only one shot, we're going to be able to vaccinate more people by the end of June.
In addition to being a single dose, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine has been tested against several variants that are worrying public health officials. Moderna and Pfizer are already modifying vaccines to target certain variants, and both companies are testing a booster in case more protection is needed.
We're moving in the right direction, though, despite the mess we inherited from the previous administration.
But the demand still outpacing supply. At one vaccination site in Massachusetts, 50,000 appointments were nearly filled in just 90 minutes.
I understand that there is a limit of vaccines. That is a real, tangible issue, but there's got to be a better way.
Meanwhile, another warning about those variants of the coronavirus. Brazil, just seeing its deadliest day of the pandemic so far as the Brazilian mutation spreads. And again, that mutation has been found here in the United States.